Hello everyone. Just check my messages here. Reminding Dave I'm headed into class. I don't think anybody's here just yet. As soon as you get here, whoever is here first, if you can let me know. Oopsies. Okay, I know I can hear myself, so let me know if sound is good. Okay. I think we're good to go. Oops, don't fall. Thinking today will be the last Edina class. We should be able to get this all done. We'll want to get started right away. Hi Cynthia, how are you? You ready to do this with me today? There's only one section that's a little bit challenging, and it's not so much that it's challenging as it is just awkward. And it has to do with the zippers, of course. But you're sewing along with me today, Cynthia? Just... You're all ready, are ya? Yay, the zipper part. We find, hi Annie. Okay, so you're just hanging out and you will catch up. Sounds good. We're gonna try to get through it all today. I think it'll take us about an hour to do the zippers. Well, the exterior part of it. Lining is super fast, so even if it was like an hour and 15 to get the rest of the exterior done with the zippers, the lining, seriously, like, as long as you've got your zipper or your pockets all done and your lining panels all done, which we did for homework, the lining is the easiest part. Okay. Just give it about 4 minutes for more to pop in. I had Jade sewing with us, Frankie sewing with us. Diane finished hers. So we'll give it a few minutes to see if the other ladies pop in. And if we get this done, we have no class next week because there are 5 Thursdays in November, so we'll get a break next week. And we finished the Tuesday bag, so it's a full break next week. But if for some reason we don't get the Edina all done today, then we will finish it up and we'll take that Tuesday spot that was left. But I think we can get it all done. Hi, Arnetta. How are you doing? You're watching? Perfect. Arnetta, was it you that went on a cruise? And if so, how was the cruise? Brady's home, so the dogs should be somewhat quiet, I hope. But you know them. What bag are you making, Arnetta? So Cynthia, while we wait, you're gonna need 2 9-inch zippers with the pulls on if you want to go ahead and do that. I already have mine all done, so. Oh, it wasn't you. Who was going on a cruise? Huh. I talk to way too many people, I think. I can't keep, everybody's like one big bag making person to me, I think. It's terrible. How's everybody's week been? I sort of kind of cleaned my studio a little bit, meaning I swept and vacuumed my floor, which was the big mess of it all. My dad's airplane wings are still taking over that side of the room. I finally got the clips I've been waiting for from Picana. They finally arrived today. I just realized I'm naked. I don't have my wedding ring on again. Again, I was edge painting all morning, and I always take it off to edge paint because I don't want to get that all over it. So oh, you're looking for it in the pattern? I always just wing them. I think I put them 2 inches down from the top. The pattern has it on the pattern piece where you can put it. But they're just like however you want to do your lining pocket, Cynthia. I just did my typical zipper pocket, but leave the bottom of it open for turning, and my slip pocket. So what we'll do, Cynthia, because we're going to get started here pretty quick, we're going to get the exterior done, and then we'll see how much time we have, and if we have time you can quickly do those pockets up. Otherwise you're going to see how easy it is to finish it up, so you'll be able to watch and see that way. It goes together so fast once we have this exterior together. The zipper parts are the hardest part, but they're not hard, they're just... well, one side of each of the zippers is awkward. It's not hard, it's just awkward how we top stitch it. But otherwise, super easy. Have a zipper foot ready. I found it to be, that helps a lot, having the zipper foot, especially in that awkward part. What else? What else? I don't know. Are we ready to get started? Okay, so once again, we're going to be trying to get the whole exterior done within the next hour, hour 15, and then the linings and finishing it all up the last 45, and I think we can do it. But we'll be going at a pretty good pace. Stop me if I'm going too fast. What I'll end up doing is showing how to do one part of the zipper, and then we'll kind of go on our own and do the second part, and then same on so forth. So all right, are we ready to go? Let me put us down to split table here. Okay, I even kind of cleaned my table off. Okay, so the first thing we want to start with is our zippers, our 9-inch zippers. You want to make sure the pulls are closing upwards, okay? And what we're going to do first, so we are on page 16 of the pattern. What we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 zipper binding pieces, and these are going to go right sides together with the bottom of the zipper. Annie says, I still have to finish my Yosemite. My son ended up coming over wanting to help me, so he's a... oh, that's so cute. Oh, and then you watched a movie. That's okay, that's allowed. So again, make sure, very important, that your zipper pulls are going up, okay? Otherwise, it's not going to work. We're going to take, Coco says hi, our zipper bands, I think they were called. And we're going to put them right sides together with the bottom of those zippers. Put it in place. We're going to do both at the same time. Same with the other one, and make sure the zipper pull is going to the front. We're working up, and we're working with the right side of our zipper tape here. Hi Kim, how are you? How are you feeling, my friend? Arnett is working on the Wild Rose from Bag of the Month. Is that last one that just came out that they had some issues with? I hope, oh my gosh, I hope they got them all sorted out. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to sew across those with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then we're going to fold this down and top stitch with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, so let me switch the cameras around. I haven't switched into my zipper yet. Oops, make sure I don't bonk my camera here. Make sure I'm not in the way of my camera. I had them all moved around. Let me just, sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I'm just making sure I'm not blocking the view at all. There we go. Okay, so 1/4 of an inch. Might help if I turn my machine on. We're off to a good start. I go over the zipper teeth once and twice, just back and forth. To me, in my head, that makes them more secure. I don't know if it really does. In my head, it does. And I'm going to just chainsaw. Oops, that went the wrong way. Caught it in time. Okay, I'm going to chainsaw them. Let go. Okay, and then we're going to push the zipper back, parts down like so. So the zipper tape is facing towards your exterior piece here, and top stitch through that. Same with the other one. I think I have this bag sold already. My client wanted the brown one, but she's waiting to see what the gray one looks like. So actually, it's a mother and daughter. I'm hoping that they buy both of them. That would be amazing. This vinyl is so luxurious that I got when I was in Indonesia. I just love it. All right. Cameras are going to act up. I'm fine, thanks, Kim. Okay. So let me know when you're there, Cynthia. I don't want to rush through this part too much because it does get a little confusing. I have good luck selling my bags. I have really, really, really loyal clientele that I've built over the last 5 years. It's all the same people. They're people that have been with me from the beginning, even when I was sewing on my domestic machine. And as my prices even increased, because I did increase my prices when I was able to sew on an industrial machine because you used heavier materials, more expensive materials, industrial grade thread, all that. And they've just all stuck with me, so before they're even finished. Well, I did have the brown one to show, and I put it on my Facebook page, and they're like, we really like that, we really like that. And the daughter was talking as well, and they're both clients of mine. And then they're like, so pretty. They wished it was a crossbody, but I don't think there's any way of really making this one a crossbody. And then I mentioned that I was doing it in gray as well, and they got excited, so. Okay, give it another 2 minutes or so. And we're going to do some marking on our zipper tape. It's funny because I've been hoarding class bags for the markets that I'm doing, because I'm doing 5 markets in November. And I was always scared I wasn't going to have any stock. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I this will be number 21. So I've got 21 bags that I can sell over those 5 markets. So hopefully they sell. Okay, so once we have that done, what we want to do is from where our seam is here, we want to measure up and mark within the seam allowance. What does it say here? We're on page 17 now. 6.5 inches up from where the zipper band starts. So I'm going to measure up. I'm just going to do a little mark within the seam allowance, okay? So it's just where I can see it, and I'm going to go straight across and do it on the other side. Same with on this one. Right there and right there. Okay, and we've done this many, many times. Pull your zipper tape, your zipper pull down, pull your teeth apart, and we're going to fold these zippers upon themselves right at that mark there. Okay, so I've pinched it, and I'm going to bring it up towards the tape right at that 6.5 inch mark, and I'm going to put a pin in there and keep that in place. Same with the other side. Pinch it right at that mark and over. Do the same for both of them, and then we will baste these in place. My hands are cold. It is freezing here. It's -4 Celsius. Like, we don't usually have winter type temperatures yet. It's getting cold. Cold, cold, cold. I think we're going to have an early winter, which is actually a blessing because we haven't had much snow the last few years. And up here in BC, we're always on fire. So we actually need lots of snow in the mountains so we can get some moisture in the ground and maybe we won't catch fire. Hi, Rhonda. Do the same with the other one. Ouch. I had a pin sticking straight up. It went right into my finger. And the other side. And then we can go ahead and baste these in place once you have them pinned. Holy, look how slow my hands are going. They do not want to move. They're ice cold. If I could wear gloves and sew, I would, I think, today. Of course, I'm in my basement, which isn't the warmest place in the world either, but I really got to get some new pins. These ones are all crooked and bent. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we are going to just baste those in place, but do not cut off the wings. Just go ahead and baste those in place. Just along those edges there. Go. Damn, my hands do not want to work. Holy moly. I do not know what Brady's doing upstairs, but man, there's a lot of banging happening above me. Oh, he's coming down the stairs. That's what he's doing. Hello? I don't know. I'm saying hello to whoever's walking down the hallway outside this door. Oh, he was outside. He probably took out the garbage. I have supersonic hearing today or something. I'm hearing everything that's going on. All right. No worries, you can catch up. How are you doing? Let me just mark down everybody else that popped in, just so I have everything going. All my names. Imelda. Kim. Rhonda. Everybody that just came in, are you just watching today? Or sewing later? We're trying to finish this up today. We should be able to do it. Oh my gosh, I can't close my thing now. Ow. I am a klutz today. My, oh my. Okay, so Cynthia, let me know when you're done that. How was my trip back? Oh, from Medicine Hat? It always seems longer coming home. We sure did miss the weather though, hey? The weekend we were there, it was pretty nice. So sorry I didn't have enough time to meet up with you. We plan on coming back maybe in the spring. It's just with the wedding and everything and family, and it just ended up being crazy. And we left at like 6:30 in the morning. We went to IHOP right when it opened up, and as soon as we were done there, we're gone. But yeah, I heard the weather's turned and you have snow now, so. Another minute or so, and then we'll move on. Oh, I need my water. Our hotel was lovely though. We got the King Suite at the Holiday Inn. It was really nice. Crazy, Denelda, because it was warm the afternoon of the wedding. Like no jacket. It was cool in the morning, but it was warm. I didn't believe it when I heard it was snowing. Not snowing here yet, but it's trying to. It's cold. How are you making out, Cynthia? Kim, I'm so glad you're doing much better. So I was telling everybody, once we get this bag done, there will be no classes next Thursday. Next Thursday is when we start there's 5 Thursdays in November. So we don't have classes the first week when that happens. Thursday bag is Alexandra by Car Threads. So make sure you grab that pattern if you haven't already. That coupon code expires on the 31st. And on Tuesdays, we are doing the Triskel wallet by Sonar. Again, there will be no Tuesday class next week because we finished the Tuesday bag for those that are in the Tuesday class. And the Sonar coupon code for, I want to say it was, I don't remember what percentage we got off for that one, but it expires on the 31st as well. Keep in mind that is just for the PDF pattern. It is not for the one with the SVG. Okay, so now we have our zippers done. What we want to do is a little bit of a mark on the opposite side of this. So you can see, you can't really see on mine, you can see our sew line and our top stitch line. Right at that top line where our stitching is, I'm just going to use a white pen and mark that line. In the pattern, she uses a pin in that. I find this is easier. Or you can just follow the stitching line, but because my stitching line is black, I can't see it. That is where we're going to know to put our needle down to do a slight pivot to sew the rest on. So you want to do that for both of them. And it's really just for a reminder when we get to it. So on the wrong side of the zipper tape within the seam allowance. Okay. All right, so situate it like this, where we have our zippers on each side, right side up, and our main front panel right side up. I'm going to undo my zipper. Make sure I'm doing this right. Need to finish the zipper. Okay, and we are going to flip this right sides together like so, okay? And we are going to start clipping it from the bottom, matching up the edges. So you saw how I did that? It was like this. And this is the edge here we want to be sewing on, so I just flipped it over like so. And you'll see right here, you're going to see how it wants to curve, because that's where our pointy mark is here. And that's where I made that mark, because that's going to be where we put our needle down to do a pivot to go down straight, because the rest of it is sewn on at a diagonal. Leave your tails hanging out. We'll take care of those much, much later. Okay. You should have, I have a 1/2 inch here. You want 1/2 inch to 5/8 of an inch is what should be left over right here, because we need to make sure there is room. Just make sure you measured it right. And we want to do the same with the opposite side. So it's sitting like this. We're going to put it under our zipper, put it right sides together, and clip it in place. The Alexandra bag is from Car Threads. It is a gorgeous bag. Gorgeous. Kim, if you go to my Facebook group, in the featured section there, we have all of the links to those bags, as well as the coupon codes on there. I don't remember them offhand, so. Okay, so once we have this clipped in place, we're going to go ahead and baste this on with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance to hold it in place. And I'm also going to put my zipper foot on. So again, make sure you've got at least a 1/2 inch up here. Then you know you did it right. Ask me how I know. I did my tape too long last time and I made it work, but I made it tough on myself. Okay, so then we'll go ahead and we will baste those on. And I'm going to change into my right zipper foot. I have my stiletto ready. Arnetta, did you buy one of these amazing stilettos from Hannah Woodworking? That's so magical. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm actually tempted to pay the shipping to Canada for the marking tool as well. I just love her stuff. We'll see. She actually only charges $8 for shipping, so that's pretty good to Canada. That's actually super cheap. Okay, so yes, baste those on with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Oops, not that side, Brandy. Opposite side. There we go. Stay. Zipper foot will help make it so this ends up being nice and straight, which we want. But again, we're just basting it on. But if we baste it on straight, that means it'll go on straight when we go to the full seam allowance, when we add the other parts to this. Okay, so as you're going down this side, when you get to that little pen mark that we made, you kind of got to pull your zipper over like so, so it matches up down that angle. And at that pen mark that we made, put your needle down right on that mark. And you can see how now we need to pivot. So we know our needle is down, we can go ahead and pivot slightly and then go down the rest to the bottom. The opposite side is a little different because we start from the bottom and go up. Okay, so that's one side done. Whoops. Let go. So this time we're starting from the bottom and we'll go up to that pin mark, or pin if you did a pin like in the pattern. So I can see my pin mark right there. Make sure my needle goes down on that pin mark and pivot slightly. And then now we're working up the zipper tape again. That just helps get that beautiful shape. You don't really want it to be super rounded there. You want it to kind of have a little bit of a point. Alrighty. Easy peasy pudding and pie. What does that say? Easy peasy pudding and pie. Is that right? I don't know. Having memories of my childhood, I think. That's what I'm talking about, Cynthia. That's what I want to get, is that marking to the chalk, pencil, and pen one. Anna got it, and I wish I had. I mean, they're a little pricey, but so worth it. The quality of her stuff is amazing. Oh, you're using the Olive Galaxy Customs. It's gorgeous. Oh, awesome, Kim. Keep in mind, for when we do start the Triskel wallet on the Tuesday, we will not have a cutting class for that because Nicole asked me not to share any of the measurements or anything. So I won't be giving measurements. And cutting it, it's all measurement cuts, so I can't do a cutting video on it or a cutting class, so everybody has to have everything cut out for first class. Oh, for sure, Kim, you've been off for a little while, so all right, so this is what we got. Let me know when you're there, Cynthia. I meant to, It's So Magical, go back and buy that marking tool, but I forgot. I got peopling too much. And those pens, they have refills, right? Okay, Cynthia. You can buy the refills on Amazon, I think she said. I want them. They're just pretty. Just giving, Cynthia and I are sewing along together today, so she'll let me know when she's ready to go. And we should be able to finish this off today. Awesome. Yeah, fast. Okay, so now we're not to the hard part yet. This is still super easy, so don't stress out just yet. We have our two, what are these called? Side parts, and the wider side should be pointing to the top. And what we want to do is take this and put it right sides together, right along this edge. Now this isn't going to go all the way down. You're going to see it's only going to go to about there. So, but that's okay. Clip that in place. Now, where I made that pen mark on my zipper tape, I'm going to transfer it to the wrong side of this piece. So I can see it's right there. So I'm just going to take a pen. That's probably why she uses a pen, or a pin, because then she doesn't have to mark it. And then we know that that is where, see, that is where we're going to pivot. Okay, and see, this doesn't go all the way to the bottom, and that is how it's supposed to be. Go ahead and clip the other side in place as well. This is a magical part. The top stitching of the opposite side is a pain in the arse, I won't lie to you, but. The shipping for her pens is only $8 US, Denelda, I found out. I think that's what it said. I'll have to double check again. So that's actually not too bad. At least that's $8. Yeah, I think it said $8 to Canada. US. So I guess that's almost $20 for us. So I guess that is kind of expensive. I should have grabbed it when I was at So Magical. Darn it. I don't know when I'll get back there again. So it was an expensive trip. It probably cost me $1,000 just in flights and everything to go. So not to include food and all that. It was a fun weekend though. I mean, I got to hang with my besties. So I got to meet a lot of people. Okay, again, transferring that mark. Okay, and then once we have that in place, now we're going, wait, side panel is now placed right side. Oops, I did something wrong. Okay. Cynthia, I did something wrong. So this top corner here should protrude over the top here by approximately 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so I have to go back in and clip it again. So yeah, approximately 3/8. So you can see on the wrong side how it protrudes over. So make sure it's protruding over a little bit. Otherwise the side will end up being too low. Let me redo that. I got to remark my little mark here. I'll mark it in red this time. Okay, it's right there. Perfect. Same with the other side. So make sure your triangle tip is protruding over by approximately 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm just eyeballing it. Sorry about that. I actually don't think I did that in the original one. Maybe that was what my problem was. Hi, Dawn. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and we will sew all the way down this and all the way to the bottom, making sure you pivot at those marks with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And you will definitely need your zipper foot on for that. Or a, what is it called? Not a minimalist foot, you know what I mean. That's okay, Dawn. We forgive you. You're not even making this bag, I don't think. Well, not right now. You will be. Okay, so 3/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way down. Remember when you get to that mark, that is where you're going to put your, whoops, I went off course. Please hold. The seam allowance is getting smaller. Go back in there. There we go. When we get to that mark, oh, it wasn't. I'm getting used to using my seam guide on my machine. I'm struggling. Get to that mark, Make sure you put your needle down on that mark, pivot, and then go all the way down to the bottom the rest of the way. Do the same with the opposite side. I need it. I know I could follow that seam guide, but I'm so used to having this magnetic one. Oh my gosh, my brain is just... Okay, so as you come up, when you get to that mark, needle down, pivot. Just a very slight pivot. Done. I may have protruded a little bit too much. It's got a little hangover, but that's okay. Hi, Diane. How are you? Diane, the one who has made the bag. What did I do with my book? Put my book somewhere, but I don't know where I put it. I'm losing my mind. Oh well, I'll find it later. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, like I like to do, is I want my seams to lay flat. So just above where my, oh, do you know what? You guys can't see me. There we go. Sorry about that. So this is what we have, and just above our tape, I'm going to cut into my two panels, almost to the seam along, or just before the stitching. We don't want to cut through the stitching, and I'm going to open up that seam allowance like so. Okay. And clip that in place. We will baste that momentarily to keep that open. Actually, we'll keep it open when we do this anyways. Oh, no. Yeah, we're gonna have to go baste that first. So this just really helps, especially if you are on a domestic machine, reduce that bulk there. So you wanna do that on the opposite side as well, just to open up that seam in those top sections. So when we go later on, that seam isn't as bulky. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to baste that seam open. Now you're more than welcome just to open up that seam as you're sewing later on, but I always forget. So I always do this right away. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm actually just going to pop it over to this view and baste those open so they're staying where I need them to stay. And you don't have to do this. It's just my preference to do this. And then I'm going to just cut off my little wingy tips there that I have going on. And see how the seam's coming over, just like so. I'd like to know what I did with my book. How bizarre, how bizarre. Oh, I know what I did. It's right here. Okay, Cynthia, let me know when you're ready. So many of us on today. Yay! Everybody just logging on. Make sure you go get your patterns for next month. And again, there are no classes next week. We're done Tuesday, and Thursday is a 5 Thursday month, so we don't have a class next Thursday. Okay, so we got about 25 minutes to get through the rest of this exterior. We're almost there. We're almost to the fun part. Make sure I do this right. Actually, on page 23, she does the exact same thing I just did with the seams. I probably learned it from her. Okay, done? Perfect. Thank you, Kim. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to flip it over like this. So the seams, now we have our 1 part seam is open there. We want this seam to be going towards the middle of the panel there. So your side is going to flay out like this. That's what we want. Make sure our seam is going the right way. And we are going to top stitch all the way down this side here. This is the easy top stitch. It's the next one that's the hard top stitch. So down here, and same with the other side, making sure that that seam is going that way and that our side panel here is pointing out this way. So I'm actually just going to put a clip in this bottom seam here to help hold that in place for me. I'm just giving it a really good finger press. And we'll do the same on this opposite side. Making sure the seam is going towards the main panel. Might help right here to clip that as well. Just to hold that in place. That unsewn side there, just kind of clip that there so it's not flopping everywhere. Okay. And I'll just make sure at the machine that my seam is going where I need it to go. Okay, so let's go top stitch that. Alrighty. I love this gray vinyl. And turns out my brother and sister-in-law aren't going to Indonesia, so they can't get me more. Makes me sad. Okay, so this one I'm going to start from, I guess it doesn't really matter. Top stitch, make sure you have good amount in your bobbin. I do. If I'm going to run out of thread, it's always going to be right when I'm top stitching something. Murphy's Law. So I always check. Okay, again. Oh, Coco says hi, everyone. Top stitch, top stitch. I'm just reaching under to make sure that my seam is going correct way. Okay, I'm going to have to do my zipper up a little bit here. Let's get past there. the way to the bottom. Other side. Again, constantly check that seam to make sure it's going in the right direction. Let me zipper up a bit. Let me zipper down. She looks good. And there we go. Oh, that sounds like fun, Kim. Embroidery thread. Okay, now we have some easy stuff to do before we get to the hard part. Diane knows what I'm talking about. Not hard, awkward, right, Diane? Okay. So let me know when you're ready, Cynthia. Try to clean up my area a little bit here. This is going to bring us to page 26. Done. Wow, Cynthia, you're keeping up. That's awesome. You're doing great. All good so far, right? Okay, so we're going to take our back piece. We're going to work on two things at the same time here. So we have our bottom piece that has the foam on the bottom. And see how there's the little cutouts here? This should fit perfectly in there. So we're going to put that right sides together, clip it in place. So this is the back that we're working on right now. Okay, and while we're here, we're also going to take our completed flap. So I went in, I undid my stitching and I put my nameplate on there. And we want to put this right sides together, matching up the center of the top. Got some crazy threads going on there. Definitely make sure your flap is centered. This is a pretty waterproof canvas from Satin Fabrics Creations. I just love the colors and it goes so perfect with this gray. So I'm just going to double check that my flap is centered here just by measuring in the size to make sure they're the same. 5/8. Probably bring it over just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. That works for me right there. So we're going to baste the flap in place. With an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and the bottom we are going to sew on with 1/4 inch. See, she jumps around a little bit for seam allowances. So yeah, we'll base this on with 1/8 inch seam allowance, the flap. We're going to sew the bottom on with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then we're going to open the bottom up and we are going to top stitch through the bottom with the seam going towards the bottom. Okay. And I'm just going to keep my zipper foot on here because we will be revisiting it very soon. So I'm just going to keep going with it. So I'm going to baste my flap on. Just kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Do both jobs at the same time. And again, the bottom with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Dog's hacking up a hairball or something on the other side of the door. I'm just going to check on Dexter because he was choking on something there. I just want to make sure he's okay. 1 second. Is Dexter okay?
Seems like it.
He was just hacking on something.
Huh?
He's hacking on something?
I heard a thump.
What dog is choking up there?
He's not choking anymore.
Not anymore? Okay, he's just eating too fast. Okay, thank you. Brady fed him and he's just eating his food too fast. Silly puppy. Okay, sorry, 1/4 inch seam allowance. To make sure my fur baby was okay. Okay, and then again we're going to fold that seam allowance towards the bottom panel and top stitch through the bottom panel. To kind of adjust my seam as I go because it's super thick there with the interfacing. Make sure I don't sew through my fingers. Like so, and then while I'm at the machine, I'm going to grab my front main panel and attach it to the other side of the bottom panel here and top stitch it the same way on that opposite side rather than changing cameras. Same thing with the opposite side. It's coming together. We're almost to the fun part. But once we get past the fun part, the awkward part, it is so fast from there on, like unbelievably fast. This bag has actually been super fast. Looks like it shouldn't. Looks like it should be a lot more complicated than it is, but it's just the top stitch of the zippers. One side of the zippers, that's the only hard part. We'll cry a little together as we do it. Okay, so 1/4 inch seam allowance. And we will get this done today, even if we're staying on just that little bit longer, because we're so close. And then we'll all have next week off, which will be nice. So I have to prep for my markets that start. And finished my last custom orders of the year. Oh, too busy. And Anna and I have started writing the second pattern, you guys. We've got the first draft done already. Okay, so I'm going to, once again, top stitch through the bottom panel with the seam allowance going towards the bottom. Alrighty. We're to the part we all worry about. But we'll do it together. Let me know when you're here. This is what it looks like so far. You can kind of see how this is going to come down and around and clip into there. Look how pretty that's going to look. Oh, so tempting to keep this for myself. I don't need another bag though. I need money more. Just love this vinyl. Oh, that's Tuesday's water. Blah, that's warm. What do you guys think of the construction of this bag so far? And who's excited for our Pin It Up pattern, second pattern? I am. A few dozen done, yeah. It is so pretty. Again, I got a meter of this vinyl and the brown vinyl in Indonesia for $3, you guys. And it is like amazing. It feels and looks like leather. Like, ugh. But it was heavy. Like, I brought back 4 meters of different colors of it. And we had to spread them between my sister-in-law and my suitcases in order to get the weight right, so. All right. I'm just rereading this so I get it right. While I wait for Cynthia. Top stitching looks awesome though, hey? Just love this pattern. I really, truly do. So it's already 4 o'clock. It's probably going to take us about 20 minutes to do this part. So we may run a little bit over 5 just to get the bag done. Do you know how expensive that trip to Indonesia was? I didn't have to pay for it because my brother and sister-in-law paid for my plane tickets, but I was hoping they were going to go home to see her family in December, but with all of the war and chaos happening in Muslim countries right now, it's just not safe for her to go right now. So they're going to stay home this year, but she will bring it back. It's actually her brother-in-law that sells it. So I don't think I got retail. I think I got his price for it, but everything in Indonesia was so, so, so cheap. But to have it shipped here would cost a fortune. He would definitely ship it to me, but it would be too expensive, so. But it is gorgeous. It really is. This is actually car upholstery vinyl. He says it goes in like BMWs and that kind of thing. So if you think of a BMW seat, that isn't leather. This is it. I'll give another minute or so, and then we have to move on. I got stuff stuck in my chair wheel. Double-sided tape. That can't be good. Oh yeah, and then the fabric mall in Indonesia. I still have a lot of those batiks. Batiks, I don't use in a lot of things, but I sure bought a lot. Okay, so I'm going to move on. I will be doing this step twice, so we'll do it once and then we'll show it again. We're going to work with just one side of the bag. So our side panels here, we want to make sure are clipped out of the way. We do not want to be sewing through these. So I'm just going to clip the side panel to the back like so, so it's out of the way. And exactly like we did here, we're going to do on the opposite side, so with the zipper. So we're going to fold this in half, make sure that side panel's out of the way, and we're going to line the unsewn side of the zipper up with the back side of our bag, like so, and clip it in place and baste it in place with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Do not do the other side yet, do one side at a time. It's a lot easier to do one side at a time. I already have my pivot marked with my pen. So this is just exactly the same thing we did putting the zipper on when we basted it on the other side. This is the easy part. The top stitching is the hard part. But it's because we're top stitching in a tube. That's why it's hard. Not hard, awkward. Awkward. And a cylinder arm doesn't make it easier. I tried. So. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Again, make sure we're not sewing through this side panel. And we're going to baste all the way up there with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Making sure to pivot at that mark. I have my, not seam ripper, my, whatchamacallit, pokey tool ready. Stiletto. Stays in shape where you need it to go until you get to that pen mark, needle down and slight pivot. Slight pivot, not a very big pivot, it's a little one. Okay, so we got that all basted on. Now we can take a big shot of tequila. I'm kidding, I don't drink. But oh, we're praying for somebody. Let me catch up on the chat here. Let me see here. Oh, he's having hip surgery. Oh dear. Is he young, Kim? How are you making out, Cynthia? Are you still there? Thank you, Nelda. wondering if we've lost Cynthia. Cynthia, are you still there? This is actually very similar quality to Anna's pearls, so I'm happy with it. I do have a little bit of a split in my vinyl there. Let me just trim that up. Ignore what I'm doing right now. There we go. I wish I could see who was in there. Has Cynthia talked at all, you guys? I think she would say if I was getting too far ahead, but... Okay, good. I just want to make sure. Whereabouts are you, Cynthia? Hold on, because this is the hard part. Actually, this isn't the hard part yet. I lied. I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose you. No pressure. So once we're done this side, then we'll just do our own thing with the other side and get it done. I'll actually probably do it all at the machine. So you can kind of see. So this is what I'm talking about. We get to top stitch through this tube down that side. That's the hard part. And I find it easier to do the sides separate, so. No worries, Cynthia. I'm glad you're still with us. That's pretty young, Kim. Oh, to be 33 again. My baby just turned 22. Mine are 22 and 24. You're done, yay! Okay, so we are now looking at page 37 of the pattern. So now what we want to do is this side seam, we're gonna kind of pinch it up like so. See? And we're gonna put it right sides together with that zipper we just sewn on, but it's gonna be up like so. And that is what's gonna give us that extra room. So we just got to make sure we don't accidentally sew it in later. Make sure you have about 3/8 of an inch hanging over the top-ish and clip in place. This is the easy part still. And then we will sew down here with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, making sure we pivot at the mark. And then we get the fun top stitching part. That's the hard part. See, it's going to pinch up all the way down. Just line up that raw edge with that basted side. Comes together like magic. Transfer your pen mark so you know where to pivot. Okay, and then we're going to sew all the way down with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. My thingy here. Zipper foot on, definitely have your zipper foot on. And make sure that excess fabric is out of the way. You don't want to sew through that at all. You just kind of want to fold it up and out of the way. And remember to pivot when you get to your pen mark. Right there. Slight pivot all the way up now. Make sure nothing's sliding. Okay. Now it's the fun part. And we get to do this twice because we're lucky. I'll try to explain what to do. So you can kind of see what we got going on here. Our zipper works. The excess kind of like so. But now we get to top stitch this baby. So this side isn't as hard to top stitch as this opposite side when we do it. But oh, Diane, happy belly button day tomorrow. I am 48. I like where her wedding is. Tempted to crash it. I wouldn't do that. Dawn's son has moved to Kamloops, which means I get to see Dawn more. I'm super selfish. Stole her for lunch a couple weeks ago, which was nice. And one of these days when I am all caught up and my studio's clean and I don't have water leaks and everything, I'm going to have Dawn come over and she can co-teach with me. Voluntold there, Dawn. I voluntold you. You're going to guest star. So guys, I'm thinking we're going to stay in class until this is done. So this might run a half hour over, which is fine. Okay, Cynthia, take your deep breaths. This is the part I was telling you about. So just like we did with the other side, we want to top stitch this. Oh, no, first we want to make sure, and I'll do it all at the thing. We want to make sure we open up those seams again, right at this top part here. And we will baste that open. We'll do that at the machine at the same time. I'm just going to hold it with clips for now. Okay, so first we'll baste that open. And then we're going to top stitch this. We're going to make sure our seam is going towards the back of the bag again. Then this is the hard part, is we're going to put this under the machine like this. Okay, and we have like everything sticking up here. And we're just going to have to squish this down because we got to top stitch like this all the way down to the bottom. So again, it's not hard. It's just super awkward. Okay, so you understand how we're going to do that? So first I'm going to baste my stitches, my seams open there. And then making sure we're pushing that seam towards the back panel. Put this down on the machine like this, unless anybody else can think of an easier way. And we're just going to have to take it really slow and top stitch and squish until we top stitch all the way to the bottom. Okay? We got this. Just take it nice and slow. And then I'm going to continue just sitting at the machine and I'm going to repeat everything with the opposite side of the bag. Smush and push. Smush and push and smooth. Smush and push and smooth. Kim's making a little saying for us, so. This is the hardest part, the two top stitches, but it's more awkward than hard, pretty much. Definitely make sure your bobbin has a decent amount in it because you definitely don't want to have to do this twice. Okay, I think I can get one side with this, so I've been pretty lucky with my bobbin chicken lately. Knock on wood. But yeah, you definitely don't want to do this more than you have to. Okay. So first, I'm going to just stitch that seam. Oops, I already did that one. This side. That seam allowance open for later. Okay, and now I worked up a good sweat doing this last time I did it. Holy moly. Trim off my excess there. Okay. She even says in the pattern, this is the hardest part. And it's more awkward. And I couldn't think of it. I thought maybe on a cylinder arm it would be easier. It wasn't. So we just go with it. I find it's the hardest just to get started. As you can see, I'm struggling. Okay. I got everything good? Okay. Whew, deep breaths. We got this. I can't see the chat for a little bit, you guys, just so you know. Just make sure your seam is going where you need it to go. Feel under and push. And go. And then everything else is super smooth sailing. Before you adjust things, make sure you put your needle down or you will cry a lot. Ask me how I know. You want to make sure that seam allowance is nice and tight away from the zipper too. So I may be going an inch at a time. Oops, I didn't put my needle down. Ah, there we go. And then I reach under, make sure my seam's going where it needs to go, pull it nice and tight and smooth, and go another inch or so. Rinse and repeat. Okay, squish. Smooth. Pull away from those zipper teeth. And go again. Can you guys see how awkward this is? The other side is a lot more awkward too. Oh goodness. Okay, what's my seam allowance doing under there? Make sure it's going the right way. I said not a hard thing to do, just super awkward. And my hands hurt at the end of it. Can't pass the zipper. Sorry if my head's in the way. So I'm just trying to see what I'm stitching. Oh, cocoa beans. Almost there. Almost there. Again, just make sure everything is nice and flat. I see the end. Made it. Okay, back stitch. Now, be very careful. Have your needle up really high so you don't snag your vinyl as you pull it out. I'm not even cutting my thread until I have it out of there. Okay, now trim your thread. One side done. Let me read the comments and then I'll do the other side. Oh, there you go, Kim. That's what I was just saying. Make sure you pull the needle up. Okay. That's one side done. Take a look. She looks good. I'm just going to double check that my zipper works. And it does. Okay. So just at the machine, I'm going to do the exact same thing with the opposite side here, okay? Again, I can't see the chat while I'm doing this, but it's just rinse and repeat with the other side. This last side is a little more awkward to top stitch just because you're working with a fully enclosed bag then. So. And then the rest of the bag's super fast. Half hour tops. If your lining panels are done already, that is. Super easy to birth. It's actually a pretty easy bag. This is the hardest part. Okay, baste that with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I will have to change my bobbin out, I think, after this basting. see the chat just yet? Dawn, if you see anything come up in the chat, message me on Facebook because I'll see it on my watch. But I think it's all good. Sorry, I'm volunteering Dawn again to do stuff for me. Sorry. Okay, when you get to that mark, remember to put your needle down and pivot. And it's all the same thing over again. This part is pretty easy. Just that top stitch is hard. Okay. Bring my side together. Oopsies. Hang over about 3/8 of an inch. Thank you, Dawn. I got your message. Okay. Do this. I think I have enough thread to get through this part, and then I'll switch out my bobbin. Forgot to do my mark, but I can kind of see where it is on the other side. Making sure everything's staying tucked where it needs to go. Get to that mark. Needle down and pivot slightly. Okay, I'm going to sew that side seam open. And then I'll change up my bobbin. My nose is itchy. Okay. Whew, whew. Hard part. This is the hard. The other side was hard. This is the hardest part. How are you doing, Cynthia? You're okay. It's not too bad, is it? Okay. Make sure it's going the right way. Press it really good. Oh, change my bobbin because I think I'm almost out. Oh, I think I have enough. I'm risking it. I'm going to play chicken. I think I have enough. Get back in there. I might regret it, but I think I have enough. Okay, where are we going? This side. Okay. Squishy, squishy, smoothie. What was it? What was Kim saying? Smush, push, and smooth. Here we go. Oops. Top stitch length. That would be better. My seam is behaving nicely right now. I don't believe how close I'm getting to my machine right now. Smooth around. I'm almost past the zipper. I'm almost there. You definitely wouldn't want to do this with a cheap vinyl. I'd be scared it would tear. Oh, I'm sweating, you guys. This is a workout. One more inch. Okay, and again, very mindful of where your needle is so you don't scratch your vinyl. Oh, and I didn't run out of bobbin. Ha ha ha. Yay. Whew. Smooth sailing from here on out. Cynthia BB. Oh, did I freeze? Hope to finish your notes by the time I finish these bags. And I won chicken. All right. Yay. So that was an hour and a half to get this far. We're pretty good. We're pretty much running pretty close to on time. Which is amazing because that makes this a 3-class bag because we missed a class. Why did we miss a class? Oh, I needed a break. It was a very overwhelming week. It was the week of the launch of the pattern and yeah. Yay. I did a pretty nice job, I must say. My zipper works good. It does. Let's see how Cynthia's turned out. And we have one more thing to do the exterior and then the lining, super easy. Then we put it together. And I will be doing the final sew on my cylinder arm, but again, you can't top stitch? Oh no, Cynthia, why can't you top stitch? Is it too thick? What you can't get it under the needle? Come over, I'll top stitch it for you. Oh no. I'm trying to think of what else you could do there. You could probably, Cynthia, glue that seam where it needs to go. It's too thick. I would glue the seam where it needs to go and let that dry overnight and then just leave that back side untop stitch, and it'll just be a nice seamless look on that side. I would just make sure that the seam gets glued in place to the back, and that should be fine. Okay, so let's continue on then. Oh, Cynthia, that would be heavenly. You'll be able to sew everything on that for sure. Okay, so are we good to move on, Cynthia? Are you going to finish it without the top stitching? So all we have left to do for the exterior now is to box these corners. And you can see, look, doesn't it look like a face with eyeballs and yeah, bloop, bloop, bloop. So this is super easy. Just bring that bottom together like so. Clip it. Oops, don't throw your clips around. Yeah, I would do that, Cynthia. So I'm just going to power through then, because you got to do your lining pocket still and glue that seam. I would let the glue dry overnight so it stays in place really good, okay? And you know what? It'll look fine, because it'll be the same on the, you'll have that beautiful top stitch on the front, and then it'll have a seamless line in the back along the zipper. Just make sure that that seam is in place with glue, and it'll be gorgeous, I promise you. Do the same with the opposite corner. Let's get her done. Cynthia, if you can, get a Thor 1341. It's the same as my Titan. They're the best, and I can help you learn it. Okay, and we are going to sew those bottom corners with, what's my seam allowance? What page am I on? There we are. 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Oh, well now it doesn't. Yeah, it kind of looks like a cow. These look like they're the horns. I can see it. Moo. You guys are hilarious. Okay, so let's go sew these sides. Just for extra stability, I'm going to do the I just stepped on a clip. Oh well. 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then I'm going to go in with the second line of stitching. I still got some thread there, so I'm going to use it. I'm not going to change it out. 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Oops. There we go. And then just because it is so thick in there with the vinyl I'm using, I'm going to go in with a second row stitching 1/8 of an inch away from that into the seam allowance. Just like so. And look at that. I won bobbin chicken 4 times in a row. Woohoo! I got my back stitch done and I ran out of bobbin. I'm feeling lucky this week, man, oh man. And then we'll do the same with the other side, and then we will get this finished up. So happy, past that hard part, and Cynthia's kind of lucky because she gets to skip that part. Glue will work just fine though. But do let that glue dry overnight and make sure it all stays in place good. Because you don't want that seam getting in the way of the zipper at any point and making it so it doesn't open and close. But glue baste it, that'll work. If you're closer, you could just come over and you could use my machine. But I do hope you get a 1341, that would be amazing. I've heard the Texos aren't so great. But Juki 1341, Thor, or Titan 1341, they're amazing. All the same machine pretty much. All right. Kim, you deserve it just because you've been through all of that stuff. Oh, you're looking at the Texo? So I only know, I had a friend that had a hard time with the Texo, and I think Lauren had a hard time too, but I don't know from personal experience. Okay, so my little tape ears here, I can cut these babies off. Okay, and then, and Cynthia, you're good if I just power through, because you got that other stuff, right? We're going to go ahead and turn this right side out. Oh my gosh, guys in loves. When you make certain bags, you just have a hard time. Look at those corners. Such a hard time giving them up because you love them so much. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. It's my sides. They zip up nice. This side zips up nice. And this will clip. Kind of gives you an idea what it's going to look like. Look at that. It's an amazing pattern, truly. Oh, definitely put it in my Facebook group if anybody's in Pennsylvania. Maybe somebody can help. Okay, let's put the exterior aside for now. We're going to do the quick lining parts. So I got my 2 lining panels done. And it's just a boxed corner lining, you guys. We're going to leave the bottom completely open. We're only going to sew the sides. Put them right sides together. Clip each of the sides. The rest goes together so incredibly fast. Isn't it amazing how fast this bag is though? It doesn't look like it should be. It only has the one awkward, not hard, but awkward part. Can you guys see how it's going to go together now? This lining is like the most basic lining in the whole world. It's amazing. I just got to check my seam allowances. I will definitely be making more of these. Like this gray one, I am so tempted to keep myself, but do you know what? I will put it at market. If it doesn't sell at market, and then it's meant to be mine, right? I wanted to keep my up and away bag, my green and gray one, but it sold, so I took it to its new family yesterday, its new mom, and I was sad. Okay, so we are now looking at page, bear with me, nope, I went too far. We are on page, right there. I'm looking for my seam allowance. 3/8 of an inch down each side. Okay, and we're leaving the bottom completely open. So I'm just going to switch to this view here. We're not going to be here very long. 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to also, even though I'm not at this machine very long, I am going to switch into my standard foot as well. An inch. And then I'll have to change my threads and everything over to my cylinder arm. I already have a bobbin loaded though, so I'm ahead of the game there. I think I have a bobbin loaded. Yeah, I do. Bag is super easy to turn with that full opening in the bottom. We close it through the zipper pocket. It's beautiful. This bag is relatively cheap to make too. It doesn't take a heck of a lot of anything. Like a little bit of hardware, I guess, but material wise, no. All right. that's it for that. I am going to put up to my face because I'm going to change my thread. Is Indiana close to Pennsylvania? I do not know my U.S. geography. I'm terrible. Okay. So let me just change my thread and my camera to my Tommy machine. This is all he gets used for, is final sew and top stitch. But I mean, if I used his table, I can use him as a flatbed too. It's just not comfortable for me because I'm short. Okay. Get in there. One of our members, Kathy's 1341 just came. Her Thor 1341. Super excited for her. She's part of the Beans Peeps Club, I believe. Kathy Carter. So guys, this is a 3-class sew, cut to finish. That's pretty good. Seems like it should have been a lot more than that. Thread that needle, get in there. I already have them all oiled up, so we're good to go. Got a good bobbin. There we go. Okay. Yay! You'd love to go to Indiana? Oh, it's only an hour flight. That would be cool. You'd have to take a picture. Okay, here we go. Oh, I didn't set up my... I'll do that in a moment. Okay, so now we're going to take our exterior. We're going to open everything up, including the side zippers. And this is where you see how it pops out. See, isn't that amazing? I'm gonna have to wash this. So I have a little cut in my vinyl there, but I think it's gonna get cut in the seam allowance, so I should be okay. And we're gonna put this inside our lining, just like we do any bag. I'm gonna position my zipper pocket to the back. Make sure your flap is down and out of the way. Stuff her in. We're almost done. Again, make sure your flap is in, match up your centers, and start a clipping around. Actually, first, I'm going to find the centers of my side panels here by just matching up my seams there and doing a small snip, just so I know where to line up this side seam. So snip, and my side centers on this side. Oh, look at that, it's like right, almost right where that little snip of my vinyl is. That's a little bit over. It'll be fine. Okay, match up the centers. Sewing trip, do it. You guys know each other well enough from being in the classes, that's for sure. If you're ever up this way, you can always come and use my machines too. Okay, match up the front center. We have such a great little community here. Match up your, I'm going to open up my seams here and match it up with that center snip on the sides. I got a little bit of a hangover here, so I'm just going to even it up. Whoopsies. That's not quite what I want to do. There we go. the opposite side. Put up that seam. Okay, and then evenly distribute the fabric in between those quarter sections. And it should fit perfect. I tell you, Kim, when I went to So Magical, I got to meet Arnetta, I got to meet Sandra and Lauren and Leslie from Joe Lely, and who else did I meet? I met so many people. Shanova and Monica. It was really amazing. These are people I've known for like 4 years, 4 years, and just meeting in person was just awesome. Got to hug Arnetta. Is Arnetta still hanging out in here, or did we lose her? Oh, butterfingers. Oh, is that to drive, Dawn? That's about how long it takes if you fly with me, too, to Florida. Okay, so we are going to sew around this opening with, let me find my seam allowance before I get too far. Three-eighths of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so I'm going to have to adjust my camera here. So, whoops, black screen. I'm going to make you dizzy because I got to switch over here to Tommy. It's not that camera, this one here. I'm going to bring her up. Doesn't have his own camera. Make sure I don't cover it up when I'm sitting at the machine. Are we good here? That should be okay. No, sorry guys. A little bit too high. A little lower. Is that good? That should be good. Okay. 3/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. Turn them on. Okay. I'm even too short for this drafting chair, so I can barely touch the ground. Vertically challenged. Let's do this. Oh, I want to stitch length. And I am going to do 2 lines of stitching for this, just because of that flap. I want to make sure my threads are not stressed out. So we'll go down around first with 1. The way we cut away our foam and opened up those seams, there's like no bulk here. It's so nice. The machine just purrs through it all. It's not slipping there. we are going to just hang out a little bit. We've got 5 minutes left, but we're going to hang out until it's all done, if that's okay. Get her done, because we're seriously 10 minutes tops. Almost done. And I'm just going to double check that everything was caught and nothing fell in before I go around with that second row stitching. All looks good, so I'm going to go in again with my second row, 1/8 of an inch away from that, into the seam allowance, just to help strengthen my seams, especially because of that flap. Gorgeous. Alrighty. Okay. Yes, I had to go through customs, Cynthia. I went through customs on the Calgary side. All right. I'm going to just double check where my, okay, so that's where that snip was. Look, it wasn't within my seam allowance, so I'm good. If it all looks good, check out this easy turn, you guys. Right through the bottom. Pull it out. How easy is that? Give it a tug and check all along the seam. Make sure your stitches don't look stressed out. Mine look good. Make sure my flap is good. Not stressed out. Oh my gosh, so good. So good. And then stuff it inside. Okay. And then we can start finger pressing and clipping for top stitching. Easy, hey? Not too bad at all. Super fast bag. Super fast. Customs on the Canada side is easy though. Looks so good. Ugh, love it. This pattern was Edmana's very first pattern when she started sewing arts too. Okay, so here where our flap is, we're going to be top stitching behind here, so you can't pin it, so you're just going to have to be very aware that your lining is flat and go by sense of feel right around there. Move it around their side. And then we're going to go ahead and top stitch all the way around this with 1/8 of an inch. Actually, because my vinyl's a little thicker, I'm going to top stitch mine with 1/4 of an inch, just because you can see how much thicker my vinyl is here. And then I know that it won't fall off of my lining. So I'm going to go in with 1/4 of an inch. You can do 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, whatever your preference is. Okay. Sorry guys, there we go. Top stitch time. Okay. I always try to start my top stitching right at a seam because I find my back stitch does not show as much then. Here we go. My stitches look good, they do. Okay, so I'm somewhere in between 1/4 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch because my zippers won't let me do 1/4 of an inch. Close enough. Okay, and as I come to the flap, I'm going to make sure my lining stays nice and snug down in when I'm top stitching. So it's not coming up and out and I'm stitching it in place where it doesn't need to be. I'm going to kind of reach in and just kind of feel underneath to make sure it's behaving. And it is. Done that part. Alrighty. Excellent. Oopsies, my camera's being wonky. Okay, so now, so the lining, as you can see, Cynthia, is super easy, but look how good this looks. Well, we'll do that later. We got to close up the bottom of this. So, top stitching all looks great. Now we're going to open up our zipper pocket, pull out that lining pocket, reach in and grab the entire bottom of the bag, pull it through. Cynthia, did this bag help you get your sojo back after having such a long break? Okay, we're going to line up that long edge, and I'm going to do this whole thing at the machine. I'm not going to come back here, so I'm going to sew this long edge, and then I'm going to box the two side corners, tuck it in, and then I'm going to finish up the pocket, but we'll do it all at the cylinder arm. Is your glue fast drying, Cynthia? You got the good stuff? Cynthia and I were pretty much neck and neck for sewing. That's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to sew across there with 3/8, box these corners at the machine, and then close up my pocket. We'll just do it all at the machine. Okay. Home stretch. Tommy's like, what is with these thin? I don't sew thin stuff on him very often. I mean, he takes it, but it's a different feel. when I use them with things that aren't full of stabilizer. Okay, and then we're going to box those corners by bringing the bottom seam and the side seams together, and I'm going to nest them together. You can open them up, you can do whatever you like. I just find nesting faster and easier for me. Clip them in place. So that first one. One corner done, do the other corner. Okay, stuff that into the bag. Oh my gosh, she's pretty. And fold in the raw edges of your zipper pocket and top stitch it shut. Gotta love a simple aligning with an easy turn. Which for this bag, you wouldn't have thought this style of lining would be in it, but it is. It's kind of like a tote style lining. It's nice, it's fast. It looks good. Close that up. Alrighty. Just gonna go black for a moment. Hi everybody. Amazon's here. Alright, so we can stuff that in. Awesome, Cynthia. And I'm glad you got your Sojo back. And it fits pretty nice and tight. And that, can you guys even see that? It's pretty dark. All right. So that's what it looks like all spread out. All we have to do is put our handles on, but I will do that after. I'll just rivet mine on. These go in like so. And they zip up perfect, and my zippers match up. Now this, the memory will come with this. I found that with the brown one, it does come. The vinyl just has to get the memory of tucking in, and then it just does it. Lovely. Look at that. Aw, Dawn, that when we gave you your Sojo back, that's amazing. That's it, guys. Just have to put the handles on and we are completely done. 3-class bag. Amazing. Only that one hard section. And yeah, Cynthia, with yours just being glue, you just won't have the top stitching down there. It'll just be a nice seamless back. It'll look good. It'll look really, really good. And we only went 10 minutes over. Yay! Who else is going to make this one? It looks so good. All right, so just a reminder to everybody for Tuesday and Thursday classes, there are no classes next week because one, the Tuesday bag we finished in 3 classes, so it's done. This one on Thursday in November, there's 5. So whenever there's 5 Thursdays in a month, we don't have class the first week. So it's kind of fun. We're going to end up having a week off, which is good because I have lots of sewing to do for markets. I got to finish Dad's wings, and I also got to get the tutorials for Triskel and the Alexandra done for classes the following week. So make sure you use those coupon codes, even if you're not making the bag. Use the coupon codes in case you want to make the bag later on. So yeah, and then I will be announcing December's bags. Now December's, the Tuesday and Thursday classes will be pre-recorded as I get a little bit of a break, but I do have a surprise which I will announce on November 1st, and I will announce which bags I have chosen to do for the Tuesday and Thursday pre-recorded classes. Now even though the classes are pre-recorded, that does still mean that I will be 100% available to you guys if you need help. It just means I'm only working half days. That's how I take a month off. I still work like from 7 to 5. I'm just not working like 7 to 6 every day. So I get the afternoons off. So the Tuesday, Thursday classes, I will announce what bags I will be recording for those ones. And I think they're good ones. I think you'll like them. And then I also have a special announcement that I will share around November 1st. Thursday bag is the Alexandra bag by Car Threads. If you go to my Facebook group, you look in the featured section, I have the coupon codes in there for the 2 bags and where to go buy them. Oh wow, a lady on Sew Whatever has offered to help you out, Cynthia. That's so nice. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. This was such a fun make. I'm so glad this one got voted in because this wasn't a bag that was really on my list to make. And now I love it. I just love it. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous bag. Loves, loves, loves. Don't forget Thanksgiving is on Thursday. Thanksgiving was last month. Canadian Thanksgiving is the 2nd weekend of October. We already had it. But happy Thanksgiving to all of my American friends. We'll be thinking about you. Thanksgiving is on a Thursday. Yeah. Well, if some aren't here, that's okay. They can catch the replay. The Canadians will be here. We had our Thanksgiving already. All right, everybody. Well, I will catch you soon. I will be doing a live check-in at some point next week to announce the December bags. November 1st, I will be putting up the polls on the Facebook group for our nominations for January. I don't believe we're into January already. Also, I'm hoping to post it by mid to end January. All of the class bags that people want to include in the mini movie, starting from last January all the way up to the end of December. So make sure you add those photos to the albums in the Facebook group or message them to me or add them to the Facebook group and I will add them into the albums so I can make that mini movie to show off all of your beautiful work for the bags you have done. All right, everybody. What day is Thanksgiving in the States? Which Thursday? 16th? 23rd? I know it's like by Black Friday. We have Black Friday up here. We copy you guys for that. All right, everybody. Have a great night, and I will catch you not next week, but the following week, okay?